The 2019 Powder division, again within the tram line series of boards. For this year we've added a few things to this. We really refined the shapes last year quite a bit, got the balance, the stance location and the volume balance all dialed from our prior years. This year we've added a 140 moontail. This has really become one of the go-to shapes within the Powder division is the moontail. And to that end we've actually added 2 moontail split boards to the series. I think a lot of you guys that follow me on Instagram have seen me riding some of the development protos, and after a couple of seasons really got it figured out where the stance need to be, where the pivot points for the ski mode need to be, and the volumes. So that's we're really excited about that board those boards finally making it into the series. Key performance characteristics of, key feature that gives the board the performance characteristics we're looking for is, one of them is the Powder S 3D camber, where we have positive camber underfoot. We're not rockering it out through the full body. We've got camber. Yes, camber works in Powder. And then as you get up to the nose, it goes into a full 3D constant curvilinear rockered shape, which we have been using for many years on our boards. So this board through this area actually is curved. If you put a true bar on it, it doesn't touch the tips and the tails. With this full of a nose, we decided to add an extended turbo rod, which will help keep the pressure down, keep the board from bouncing around and dampen out that nose that generally happens when you have a longer nose at speeds. It tends to flap, and this really dampens it out. So that's the general shape, the camber line for it. The concept of the Powder division has been different types of tools for different not just powder conditions, but also preferences, and it's really a balance of volume, or surface area. I would call it volume to reference what's happening in surfboards, but where the board is wide, where the board is narrow, where your stance goes on these boards really dictates how it performs. And one thing to that end we really discovered over the last 3 years of having these boards in the line is that I wanted a couple extra inserts on these boards, and so on the samples you'll see an extra set of inserts out here and here, which will give you a little more range for experimentation. Again, every condition, if you move your stance around, it's going to change how the board performs. Where you are on that volume determines how high it planes, what angle it planes at, how powerful your turns are, or how quickly it comes up the plane and floats. So we really spent a lot of time evolving that, and I think this current series is as strong as we've ever done. So along with that geometry and volume displacement idea, these boards, all the Powder division boards, have taper, varying degrees of it, quite aggressive taper on some of the shorter boards and more subtle taper like on the pintail. Again, as I've just discussed with the Ravine, all the boards in the Roam line with taper have our proprietary bi-radial side cut. Again, taper works great in Powder. It gives you that sink and flotation balance that everybody wants, but when you get on groomers, you lose a lot of the fun, quite frankly, of just turning a board. And so, since we've been doing these boards, we've always had a bi-radial where we have one radius through the forebody of the board and a tighter radius finishing. So again, when you're on groom stuff, as you're completing your turns, the pressure builds, and you can snap into your next turn or slash a bank a lot harder than if the board just had taper, where you tend to wash out. So we've taken a dimension to achieve one thing, and we've added another shape technology to another part of the board to kind of counterbalance the negatives. Everything's a give and a take. You know, you add something, it's going to hurt somewhere else, and so we're always kind of trying to blend those features and shapes and geometries to give the best possible performing board. So this is the 157 Moontail in the new tram line in the Powder division series.